This club is a joke. You're literally trolling yourselves. Benching Jordie Barrett in the biggest game of the season only to lose that game, start him the next weekend, win that game convincingly, and he wins man of the match. You would hate to be Leo Cullen right now. Welcome back to Kick On Rugby. I'm your host, Dane Shearer. Before we get into this one, I would love to know what your guys' thoughts on this is. At the time, I thought why did they bench him? But then also thought Gary Ringrose, Robbie Henshaw, international Irish players. Yes, there's a thought process behind it, but it's obviously blown up. It's made a lot of news around the world. Fans absolutely hating on the decision, giving their thoughts on the decision, giving their opinions and letting their opinions known. So I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think of it? Was it the bad decision to bench Jordie Barrett in the Champions Cup semi-final, lost to Northampton Saints? Should he have come on earlier? Should he have started? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into it. So Leinster drop out of the Champions Cup semi-finals, get kicked out by Northampton Saints. And the biggest talking point from that game was why Jordie Barrett was benched. At the time, like I said, I thought, why is he benched? But then also thought there's two international centres, Irish centres starting. They can definitely do a job for you. You bring Jordie Barrett on and happy days. So obviously, Leinster lose that game. The next week, Jordie Barrett starts in the URC game versus Zebre. They go on to win that game convincingly, and Jordie Barrett wins man of the match with stats of 2 tries, 2 try assists, and 3 turnovers won. Thanks to Short Ball Rugby for that little graphic. Now, yes, before you climb into me, playing versus Zebre in a regular season URC match, playing versus Northampton Saints in a Champions Cup semi-final knockout match, it's like black and white. That's like black and white. It's two totally different games. There's so much more pressure, so much more on the line. So yes, it's like comparing apples with pears. But the decision still was made to not start or not bring your marquee signing player on early in that Champions Cup game. On Twitter, and this is what I've seen, this is what I was thinking of doing a video like this, and just having the discussion, not really blasting anyone, just having the discussion about it, and then saw the Twitter remarks of it, and Planet Rugby were reporting, because after the game versus Zebre, Leinster obviously then put out that Jordie Barrett won man of the match. And the comments are just, you're literally trolling yourselves. This club is a joke now. You're literally trolling yourselves. Someone else wrote, imagine leaving him on a bench for 50 minutes. Some decisions are never ever forgotten and follow the coach for the rest of their career. That's massive. That is huge. We'll read one. We can only imagine he would have been man of the match last week too if given the opportunity. Can't get over that single point. Whoa. And then too bad they did not start him last week. And then last one here. Great idea to keep him on the bench last week. Made sure he was ready for another player of the match performance. Fans, obviously, whether that's Leinster fans or just Jordie Barrett fans or just fans in general. Obviously, everyone's singing pretty much a similar tune. And it definitely does bring on the question of there's two questions really here. Is firstly, what difference would he have made if he started the game versus Northampton Saints? And then what difference would he have made if he came on earlier versus Northampton Saints? The plus side for starting him earlier, so for answering either of those questions, the plus side is he's your marquee signing. He's been positively influencing, impacting Leinster's game every single time he plays. No one can argue against that. The first game, he came off the bench for Leinster, making his debut, scored with his first touch. He's had a hand in a lot of great convincing wins, good try assists, good tries for himself as well, big plays as well. The positives of if he started, you're in the game straight off the bat. You're in the intensity. You don't have to take time to get into the game or get into the flow of the game. You're helping the guys in and around you. He could have massively positively impacted Sam Prendergast on that game, because we all know Sam Prendergast didn't have his best game in that Champions Cup game. He could have positively impacted Gary Ringrose, or if he was at fullback, he could have positively impacted James Lowe and Tommy O'Brien, or the whole squad defensively at least, because his communication is that's probably one of his biggest assets of his game, is his comms, how well he speaks to the team on defensively and attack. He's obviously got a massive boot as well, so it could have helped Prendergast clearing or exiting. And then bringing him on earlier, again, he's got a lot more time to get into the game, because that's the biggest thing. When you bring on subs, yes, there's only a handful of players that can make an immediate impact. They can come onto the field and boom, first touch of the ball, they're straight into it and they can change the momentum of the game or do something crazy good. But most players, when they come on, they need 5-10 minutes to get into the flow of the game, make a big tackle, make a strong carry, hit a good ruck, you know what I mean? Or make a big kick. Now, I'm putting Jordie Barrett in the class of those handful of players that as soon as he comes onto a field, he can positively impact the game as soon as he touches the ball, or on a good defensive read, or with a big kick. So when they only brought him on with I think it was 30 minutes to go or 20 minutes to go, in a big game like that, it's definitely a head scratcher. Absolutely, it's a head scratcher. Whether there was pressure from higher ups within Leinster or within Irish rugby on Leo Cullen to pick his Irish players, but then it's why did you start Ergis Snyman? Because Slimani was also on the bench, so why didn't he start? But then you're looking at Furlong and Porter, they were fantastic up front. Ergis Snyman didn't have his best game. Why didn't Ryan Beard or James Ryan start at lock? And why did Ergis Snyman start and not Jordie Barrett? So some of these questions like that definitely needed to be asked. And after him going on against Zebre, or starting against Zebre and putting on a show like that, you feel you feel bad for Leo Cullen. If he was the decision maker around this, we probably will never find out if there was pressure from higher ups to be you need to pick Robbie Henshaw and Gary Ringrose. They need to stay on the field for X amount of time. It's just in your biggest game, you sign these big players, these big marquee players to impact your games and to help you win these big games, the biggest game of their season, and he only comes on after the 50-minute mark. It's just sorry? What? Doesn't make a lot of sense. Leinster fans, what do you guys think? Irish fans, Kiwi fans, what do you guys think? I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you next time. Bye.